Hello,
Hello.
and welcome to another episode of.
The Super Data Brothers Super Show.
That's right, I am Ryan,
I am Eric.
and we are two real life brothers who work in the data and analytics industry. And if we got a good one for you today, folks.
We sure do. You know, Ryan, I'm so excited for today's show because, what? How long has our hiatus been? Like
5 months? 4 months.
4 months. All of winter, basically. A little bit
Yep.
into spring. So this is us announcing our. So this show is us announcing our spring lineup, our guests,
Yep.
like that we're talking with, our individual topics that we're doing without any guests, all that stuff. So.
Yeah, this is the season 3 Super Data Brothers announcement. And we're pumped. You know, it's been a while. Some things have changed around here.
Yeah.
I have a mustache now,
Mm-hmm.
which, my wife, Jane, assures me she likes, but I think she's trying to use reverse psychology on me, to be
There you
honest
go.
with you.
Yeah. And I've got some more gray showing up. You know,
Yeah,
it's like you hit 34, and it's just like all of a sudden, it's like
boom. Welcome to the
that
club, brother.
that little trickle of a stream becomes a river of gray hairs.
That's right. Now, listen, folks, if you recall, this is a live show, so it's more fun for us, and it's way more fun for you if you get your questions, comments, and reactions into the chat, just like our friend Mike Norris saying, "Let's go, bros." We got Tom Wilsack saying, "I was starting to worry." We got my dear friend Miko Yuck here. Miko, how are you? We haven't seen each other in way too long. It's great to have you in the audience here. And then, of course, Aaron Wilkerson saying, "Hells yeah, they're back." One other thing I want to share with you all before we dive into the unveil. Something else new that I got around here. It's for the studio. I would like you all to say hello to Gimli. Say hi, Gimli. Look at that. Gimli is my new dog, obviously. He is a sheepadoodle. Got to have a doodle nowadays. And obviously named after the beloved Hobbit character, or Lord of the Rings character, rather. So there you go. He's the third Super Data brother, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, man. Still stuck as LinkedIn user. Yeah, we got Michael Dunphy. Glad y'all are back. We got who is stuck as LinkedIn user. That's Tom. Yeah, Tom. It has to do with like whether your profile is public or something like that. If your profile is not public, it won't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, that's not important. What's important is the season 3.
You guys are hilarious. 35 is old. Trust me, I know there's plenty of old coming ahead of me. But this is the gate starting to open.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I really started going gray in the beard when I had my first kid. I was actually looking at a picture of me holding Freya the day she was born, and I like no grays,
Yeah.
you know. And now it's like I have a Gandalf beard. Zishan, good to have you here. And he's saying hi to Gimli. Miko says I need him. Yeah, Gimli's he's a good dog so far.
Oh.
All right. So, you know, in the 4 months we've been gone, it's weird. It's like nothing's changed in the data industry. I don't know. It's just the same. Everybody's just really happy with Tableau, building their line charts.
Yeah.
You know, spending 8 weeks making dashboards. Right? There's not much to update people.
AI hasn't gotten any better.
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, in fact, everything's changed, folks, and it's changing so fast that we have an all-star lineup of guests to help you decode what's going on in the data industry as we move forward into the last era of human life on the planet. So let's go ahead and I'm planning to go over any of the Tableau conference announcements. Michael, not today. We can definitely take a look at them if you're interested and give you our opinions. But today we're just going to unveil who is coming up on season 3 of the Super Data Brothers. So we have 8 action-packed, informative episodes coming up week after week, the next 8 consecutive weeks, Thursday at this time, to help get you caught up with what's going on in the data industry. Eric, why don't we
All right, let's
share
do
the presentation? Let's go.
All right, the season 3 lineup reveal.
Drum
All right.
drum roll.
All right. Here we are at the Super Data Brothers stage for the Super Data Brothers show.
That's right.
You can tell AI got a lot better because I used AI to generate the last season reveal like what 6 months ago or whatever it was, and it was a lot less coherent. It looked like AI, AI slop. But now, now the new GPT-4 image generator is like, oh, it actually did what I said.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway, we're at the Super Data Brothers at the show to see the Super Data Brothers show. Let's see. Let's see who's on the playbill. All right. So do you have any what does the playbill say about our first guest?
All right, our first guest. This is next Thursday at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. She had her first In-N-Out Burger experience with Joe Reese and I at Day to Day Texas 2025. Shout out to Lynn Bender, organizer of Day to Day Texas. She started her career not in data, but as a flight attendant, and she is the founder of Helsinki Data Week. Welcoming to the show for the first time ever, we have Eva-Maja Virtanen. So she is awesome. I'm so excited to have her on the show. She's done all sorts of cool stuff in data, one of the founders of Helsinki Data Week, as I mentioned. I would really love to go there. Every year, it's like one of those conferences that I have FOMO for. When I see, it just seems like an awesome vibe. I've never been to Helsinki, so I'd love to do that too. Eva-Maja, feel free to invite me. I would love to go. All right. That's April 24th at 12 o'clock. And then the very next week, we have a special edition of Super Data Brothers that may just save your life. It is, we are welcoming a major advocate for open source projects. She's the author of many, many books on Apache Spark, a contributor to the Apache Spark project, and one of the managers of Apache Spark, and the founder of Fight Health Insurance. We are pleased to welcome to the show Holden Karau. So this is going to be really interesting. And when I say it may save your life, I'm dead serious. Holden is, of course, a fascinating person. But the reason we want to have her on the show more than anything is to talk about her experience developing Fight Health Insurance, which is that will analyze your denial claim, your denial letter from a health insurance company, and automatically generate the responses you need to send into the health insurance company in order to try to get that denial overturned. So we're going to be doing a deep dive on what this is, how it works, how she built it, of course, her background in data as well. Mm-hmm. But I'm really like there's so many uses for AI out there. Everybody's doing AI everything, right? But nobody's doing something that I think is currently as good and important as what Holden is doing. So really excited to have her on the show. And then that of course is May 1st, which is coming up 2 weeks from now, 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Then we have the very next week, the man, the myth, the legend himself. He's Germany's data governance guru. He's data's #1 pop star by far, and the author of the best-selling book, Humanizing Data Strategy. I have that around here somewhere. Where'd it go? Here we go. Please welcome back to the show, Tiankai Feng. There's the book. Tiankai was a guest last season. Tiankai's amazing, and I could not help but invite him back on the show for this season to catch us up on everything that's going on in the world of data strategy, data governance, as it's rapidly evolving. With AI, this is is going to be a great episode. If you missed last season's episode with Tiankai, it was fantastic. Do check out Tiankai's book; it's great. I really love it, and I recommend it to everybody. That it's an easy read. It has bite-sized morsels of data wisdom. It's one of those books. The best books are easy to read, but they get you thinking. And Tiankai's book gets you thinking for sure. So really excited to have him back on the show. And then we have coming up after Tiankai, we're going to be welcoming to the show one of data's foremost astrophysics PhDs. She recently presented to a room full of fifth graders about AI, which I think slots above I spoke at AWS reInvent. That's good, but presenting to a room of fifth graders about AI is like the next level presentation. And she is an engineer, author, speaker, and all-around brilliant person who I cannot wait to welcome to the show. Please get excited for Colleen Tarto. So Colleen's going to be on the show. That's your cue to hit the button, Eric.
Yeah, sorry, I had a window open.
There we go. Welcome to the show, Colleen. Colleen is hiring, by the way, as you can see.
I took these images from LinkedIn, so if
the
they
picture
had
Eric took from
anything,
LinkedIn.
so they had anything, but whatever they had in LinkedIn, that's what their image is.
Yep. So Colleen also presenting next week at Data Council in Oakland. And let me give a little plug. I will also be at Data Council in Oakland next week. So if you're attending Data Council, make sure to say hello. Data Council was nice enough to give me a free ticket because they used a picture of me in an advertisement for Data Council.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so they gave me a free ticket to attend the conference.
And
so
then,
I will be there representing Good Data and the Super Data Brothers. I'm not presenting or anything, but feel free to swing by and say hi. I may even have a few of the coveted Super Data Brothers T-shirts. So if you catch me early and you say hello at Data Council, I may have one for you. They're hard to get. Very few of them are out there.
Yep. All right. So Ryan, I know someone in the chat, I don't remember, asked about the Tableau conference. So after we're done with the announcement, if you want, I did ask Perplexity AI to summarize the announcements. So we could do the streamer thing and just read a news article and then talk about it after this if we have time, if you want to.
We'll have time. Listen. This is a live show, folks. We can talk about whatever you want. That's why we do it live every week. Tom Wilczek asks, was it the heads down pick from Gartner? Yes, it was, Tom. Yes, it was.
I don't know if I've seen this one.
Oh, yeah. I posted a picture of myself with my head in my hands after I watched like a Power BI governance presentation at Gartner, where it was like, it's clear that in Power BI, they're trying to solve the problems that like we solved in Cognos in 2009.
Yeah.
When it comes to Gartner, or when it comes to governance, rather. And I posted that on LinkedIn, and then it blew up. Like
really?
it got 200,000 views, 500 impressions, and it got used in a Data Council advertisement. So,
sweet.
Yep. All right. So yes, but Colleen, we're going to have on the show. Very excited to welcome Colleen to share her wisdom with us. I just think Colleen's really brilliant, and I love having brilliant people on the show. So it's going to be great. After that, we're going to be welcoming a first-time guest to the show. He's a worldwide data speaker and data storytelling master and the whisperer of all things data. Get pumped, everybody. Joining us for the first time ever on Super Data Brothers, we are going to have Scott Taylor. So Scott Taylor, the data whisperer. Scott Taylor, I will tell you, has the coolest jackets of anyone at data conferences. I am very, He just like this lovely pink salmon jacket he has in his LinkedIn profile photo. Scott is a really captivating data presenter who has deep expertise on all things related to data, and we're really excited to have him on the show. So after that string of guests, we're going to have a couple shows where we go solo. Right? Mm-hmm. Yes. So the topics we're planning on covering in those solo shows, or do we do Aaron first? Okay, we do Aaron first. Go back one.
Okay.
There we go. Pretend you didn't see that, everybody. He is Data's number 2 Lions fan.
Yeah. Oh, hold on.
Okay. A master of data governance and leadership, and the purveyor of rugged workwear and blue-collar fashion from Detroit City. It is Aaron Wilkerson coming back to join us, a third timer on the Super Data Brothers show.
Yeah.
So Aaron has been busy, very busy. Of course, his day job is as the director of data governance at Carhartt. And then at night, did you know that Aaron runs an organization called Data in the D, which organizes the Detroit low-key data happy hours, which we have every month. This last happy hour, we must have had 40 or 50 people at. It's been a year. It was a year to the day since Aaron and I tried to do our very first Detroit low-key data happy hour, and 4 people showed up. So thanks to Aaron's heroic efforts, we now have a big crowd, and we're going to be organizing a special event in the fall. So we're going to have Aaron on to talk about data community, data organizing, data leadership, data governance, and probably to to spit some hate at self-service analytics again, as Aaron is known to do. And Aaron says, I can't wait until I get to 5 appearances and then I get my 5 Timers Club jacket. That's right. That's right. It'll have the logo on the lapel. Be amazing. All right. Then we're taking our break from having guests. We're still going to we've got a couple of guests we don't have totally lined up yet. They're very exciting, big names in the data industry that we don't quite have scheduled. They'll probably fit into this space, but also in this space, we're going to have 2 topics that Eric and I are going to cover. Okay, the first one is going to be a cool tool review. As you know, every season we try to do 1 or 2 reviews of BI tools. To give you the lowdown on them, and we've kind of have a focus on open source BI tools, or at least BI tools that have an open source non-commercial version.
I mean, that makes sense because that means I can review them without paying for them. So the same reason people would choose them, because they can use them without paying for them.
Right. Our review of Apache Superset last season, if you didn't see it, go back and check it out. Doing pretty well on YouTube as far as Super Data Brothers videos. So it must be at least somewhat useful because it's achieved a little bit of algorithmic liftoff.
The tool reviews, they always like get a decent amount of traction. Actually, at Data Day Texas, I was actually like 2 years ago, I was recognized for my QuickSight video, and this year I was recognized, I think, for my Superset video.
Yeah, and Michael Dunphy in the comments says right here, thank you for covering Metabase. Was introduced to you guys through your Superset review.
There we go. Helpful. See, they always get some traction.
Yep.
They always get some traction. Yeah, and it's always fun to do, and it's always little behind the scenes. It's always a lot of work because to do one of these, like an actual review of like, okay, what is this good for? What is this bad for? I basically have to like spend 2 weeks to a month learning to do the tool, and like afterwards I always feel like, no, I could get a job doing this.
Exactly.
So that means if you watch my videos, you could get a job doing it, so you should watch my videos.
Exactly. And we look, if there are tools you want us to cover, let us know in the chat. There is, obviously I work for a BI vendor, excuse me, so we do our best though to make this as impartial as possible. Eric does the review.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't work for a BI vendor.
Right. So Eric does the review. The opinions and grades and scores that we give the tool all come from Eric.
Yep.
And then I kind of play the skeptical eye, and I ask the questions. Well, can it do this? Can it do that? And that's how we try to keep things objective here. But we want to be clear. It's like transparency is important. Like, I do work for a company that you might, if you're looking at Metabase, you might also be considering Good Data. So we just want to be transparent about that. But that's kind of why we have Eric lead those BI tool reviews. So what tools do you want us to review? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, Superset was one of the suggestions, so we did that. Metabase was one of the suggestions, so we're doing that next. If there's another tool you want us to review, we can
let us know what it is. And
I always think like maybe I should do like a review of like one of the bigger ones that like, I haven't used before, like Looker or something. Just to like okay, what is this?
Yeah, the challenge there is just getting access to it.
Yeah.
Like if they don't have a free trial, and then let's say Sigma. I believe Sigma has a 2-week free trial.
That's not enough time.
Right. It's hard. It's hard for you to do.
For Amazon QuickSight, they actually gave us like $1,000 of credits or whatever.
Yes.
So like I had it for a few months ahead of time, which was like really nice.
That's what enabled the QuickSight review. So it's, and also, the thing about that is I wasn't working for a vendor.
Yes.
Right. So it's like if we were to go to Sigma and say, hey, please give us free access to Sigma.
It's like, the guy working for a competitor wants
free access to Sigma.
Yeah.
They're probably going to say, thanks, guys, but give us a call when
you want to pay money for it.
Yeah. But let us know what tools you want, and we will review them. And then the other topic we want to cover, and this is the death of enterprise BI.
I hope that's clickbaity enough.
Yeah, can we make it more clickbaity? Let us know more clickbaity titles we could give to this episode.
I mean, our first episode was Tableau is dead, so those clickbait titles work, man.
It worked, baby. So what are we going to talk about here? Look, the CEO of DBT, Tristan, recently posted a blog post that essentially laid out a theory of kind of BI, how BI works. And it goes in 3 stages. There's like exploratory data analysis, and then there's maybe like, oh, this is useful, I'm saving it for myself or my team. And then there's kind of, oh, I'm going to, we need it for the enterprise. And how AI is going to undo that chain, right? That BI chain. And I agree with them and I disagree with them. And so we're going to kind of use that as a springboard for this episode to talk about, okay, where are we with AI as it relates to BI? And how is it changing the way BI practitioners work? What skills will you need to stay on top of the industry? And are we going to see the death of enterprise BI? I mean,
what's happening now that we're seeing that are the first inklings of like what will develop into possibly the death of BI. Like, I'm sure there are people who have access to like our EDW at MSU who used to come to us for stuff, but now just ask ChatGPT to write them a SQL query.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And
I'm sure
works,
that's happening, and I have no idea about it.
That works extremely well on like a point-to-point basis.
Yep.
But it is a recipe for chaos.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Taken as a whole within the organization, and so that's what we're going to explore. There's a lot of, and this will also harken back. If you go back a couple of years, we had an episode about like what is BI going to become, and it was about this circulatory system of metrics and knowledge, and how BI people will be more focused on curation and less on creation. And nothing that's happened between now and then has changed my mind about that. So we'll probably do a call back to that too. But that's what this episode is about. So if this is where we're going to put on our prognosticating hats. We're going to look into the crystal ball. We're going to do the state of BI with AI as it exists today. We're going to talk about like MCP, I think, is going to change the BI game bigly. And so we will, we're going to unpack all of that for you on this episode in June.
Yeah, when Microsoft implements it in 4 years, it'll really change the game.
Yeah, it will. I see we got Lynn Bender has joined the audience. Good to have you here, Lynn. Organizer of Day-to-Day Texas, which we plug on virtually every episode.
Yeah,
so we'll plug it again, folks. Day-to-Day Texas. If you want to meet us, if you want to meet Joe Reese, if you want to meet Matt Housley, if you want to meet all sorts of incredible data people from all over the world, go to Day-to-Day Texas every January. You can use code Super Data Brothers, all one word, to get a 20% discount on your registration. Check it out. All right.
Yep.
And then wrapping up season 3 of Super Data Brothers will be he's a lifetime IBM champion. He's the open source data contract guru. You can often catch he and I at live events arguing about what is a data product. And he's data's finest Frenchman. We are welcoming to the show.
Wrong one. Hold on. There you go.
Jean-Georges Perrin, JGP, he goes by. So JGP is a friend of mine. I met him through the IBM Champion program. As many of you know, I started in the industry as a bit of a Cognos guru. And through that, I met JGP. He is a Spark master. He's also big in data mesh and runs the open source data contract standard through the Apache Foundation. So JGP is an awesome guy, very captivating speaker, funny. It's going to be a great episode. If you haven't met him, you're missing out. He's a great guy. And we're happy to wrap up the season on June 26th. After that, we're going to take a little break for July and August, and we'll come back in September with season 4 of the Super Data Brothers show. And so this is, I think, the way that we can give you the best show. We were just doing a weekly show for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I think breaking it into seasons, giving us some time to think and plan about what we can do to give you a better, more impactful show that helps your career, hopefully entertains you, and gives you a little break every Thursday at noon from the madness in the world lately, is the way we're going to approach. So season 4 will then start in September. So there you go. That's season 3 of the Super Data Brothers show, folks.
That's a curtain closing right there.
There you go. Yeah. Every Thursday at 12 o'clock for the next 8 weeks. Join us live here. Bring your questions. Bring your spicy opinions. Tell your friends. The Super Data Brothers are back.
We'll take those too.
Yeah, we'll take them too. Yeah, please Please do come with the mild opinions. Share in the chat. I think Tableau is an okay tool.
Yeah, it's all right for certain use cases.
It's like, spitting fire.
Spitting fire.
All right, so we did have a request. Hey, the announcements at Tableau, the Tableau conference. So I will admit I didn't follow it very closely, meaning I didn't follow it at all.
No,
but that won't
We-
stop us from giving opinions, folks.
listen, like you've seen like the big streamers. A lot of them they spend 4 hours and they're just reading articles and reacting to each line of the article.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna try that.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's present or invite. Share screen. Okay, share screen.
One of the things while Eric's pulling that up, I will tell you about doing a seasonal show is between seasons, the StreamYard UI changes.
Yes. So it's kind of like, okay, this is different.
Yeah, like our buttons are in different spots and the menus have different words. I don't know. As Eric said, we're getting old, so it's real hard for us to adapt.
Okay, share screen. Share. Hold on.
I'm holding.
All right, share entire screen. Yeah, baby.
All right, Infinity Bros.
Yeah, Infinity Bros. All right. Are you seeing? I only have one. I recently moved my desktop, so I only have one monitor, so I can't look at you and this at the same time.
Okay.
But
we can see. You're gonna have to zoom in though.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, actually, hold on.
All right.
Let me try something different.
Other plans. All right. This is
Stop
how you know
screen.
it's a live show, folks.
Yeah. Share screen. Share. Maybe if I just share this window, right? Select. No, that's not going to work. I don't know what I'm thinking. All right. Allow. Okay. Now you're seeing it again.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about it.
Okay. Can you just like control mouse up? There we go.
I mean to embiggen.
Yeah. To embiggen. Yes. Please embiggen.
All right. So yeah, let's see here. Intro, attendees. The next foundation of agentic analytics. So it looks like they're talking about agentic analytics. Everyone's been talking about agentic analytics for the past year. I haven't used anything. Their agentic analytics. I'm gonna guess it's not very good yet. You know.
Yeah, of course not. Everybody, like agents, I will say, are an individual agent can be very impressive in like its little box.
Little box, yeah.
But when you let it out of the box, and especially when you want to orchestrate them, what we're seeing right now is not. It's got a ways to go.
Got a ways to go. Now, like because like I know like behind the scenes of like OpenAI and these other chatbots, like those are all agentic. Like they have the different agents taking different tasks. Like that works. But just like all these things, it takes how much, like 1 to 5 years before like that cutting edge stuff gets into Microsoft Power BI or Tableau or that kind of stuff.
Yep. All right, so let's see, what did they announce? Open data layer.
Let's see, a more flexible approach to open data access, allowing users to query data where it resides without moving it. Okay.
Okay, so a SQL query?
A SQL query. I don't know what that. Okay, so you don't. Oh, so you can directly query instead of digesting it, which is what Tableau does. You know.
I mean, hasn't you use Tableau more than I do? Doesn't Tableau have direct query already?
It does have direct query mode.
Yeah, so I wonder exactly what they're talking about.
What's like without moving it? That's how a database works.
To access data directly in Databricks through zero copy technology.
Okay, so maybe they're specifically talking about Databricks. I haven't used Databricks much, but maybe Tableau had to digest the data, and now it can direct query, right?
Yeah, that's interesting. I would want to know more about what that means.
What that means, because like one thing we've always talked about on the show, that I've always wanted, was like a universal, hopefully like free and open source, but a universal like semantic layer that I can model the data once, and then use it in Tableau and Power BI and Cognos. Now you could say, well, why don't you just model it in the database? And that's true, but I don't own the database. I own the BI tools.
See, this gets to like one of the biggest challenges in enterprise organizations, that like when you talk to data people at startups and at tech companies, that they don't get. And because our data influencer world is driven by startups and tech companies, that's just often not talked about, which is exactly what you just said. There's this assumption when you read an article by, on LinkedIn about who has access to what and who has power over what. And it's often like, oh, there's a data team. But at big companies, is there a data team?
Well, first of all, there are 4+ data teams.
Right.
And any given data team only knows the existence of the other two tangentially.
Right.
And then there's like the data warehouse team, but maybe some other departments don't use the data warehouse. They're using this cloud service, right?
Yes.
So there's a lot with large organizations. It's not a nice clean data mesh. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. So what I've always seen at big companies is, oh, we got to do something in BI or the BI team. We got to do a calculation. All right. I could do it in BI now, or I could get into the data warehouse team, which is a totally separate team from my team.
Yeah.
I could get into their list of requests.
Yep. And they don't even understand BI needs, and they're not used to working with end users, really.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. And so what ends up happening, I'm just going to define it in BI because I can do it now.
Yeah.
Rather than waiting 8 months for the DW team to add my SQL calculation into the DW.
And listen, I'm just going to define it. I'm just going to define it in BI. That's what I want. Please define it in BI, because otherwise they're defining it in their Excel sheet. So
right.
That's
Exactly.
the goal. Define it in BI. That's where I want it, baby.
That's a step in the right direction.
Ideally, sure, let's add it to the database. But I live in reality, not in a conference talk. So
exactly. Exactly.
Okay. So open data layer. So that's basically like, okay, you can connect to the data, so the Databricks data cloud or something without, maybe you had to digest the data beforehand. Right. And all right, semantic layer. Okay, the semantic layer has been enhanced with AI-assisted modeling capabilities. Who would have thought? Let's see. They accelerate the creation of calculations and detail. Now this could be pretty useful. This could be bad. I haven't used it.
Yeah.
Right. Or maybe no one has. Maybe it's not out yet. Right.
Yep.
This layer maintains governance while providing the agility to extend models without changing the underlying semantic structure.
Okay.
Bridge between raw data and visualization. Oh, the semantic layer. So, like, I know Tableau has a semantic layer, but talking to Tableau devs, they basically say, yeah, don't use it.
Right. So maybe what they mean here is like, oh, it's better? Because that's my understanding too. Yeah. Like Tableau is, like Power BI, is built on this paradigm of I'm going to have a notebook or a single data set, and that single data set drives a single dashboard, right? And that, like, Tableau experts or Power BI experts watching right now may say, oh, that's not true. Like, you have this capability and that capability. And I'll say, fair enough. How often does it get used?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The Tableau developers I've talked to, like, they say, like, yeah, we don't use that. And I was talking with, like, our Tableau rep, and he was basically like, yeah, no one uses that. So
Exactly. And that's not unusual for very mature BI tools. They develop a culture and a practice around them, and then those things don't change. And I can tell you, I fought for about 5 years to get Cognos users to do things differently, and failed. I convinced you.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's because when you were trying to convince people, I was just starting Cognos. So.
Right. But most of them do things the way they've always done things, and that's undoubtedly true of Tableau at this point too. Yeah. Tableau is old, and the people who do it are also old.
Yeah. So, like, who knows? Maybe the semantic layer is good now. It's probably not, but maybe it is.
But I mean, again, I'd have to see a demo of it. But like what it sounds like they're describing to me is the type of thing that Cognos or Business Objects or MicroStrategy had in 2005.
Yeah.
That in 2015, the industry convinced itself it didn't need. And now in 2025 is becoming necessary again.
Yeah. And then they're trying to, as everyone is trying to enhance it with AI, which it's probably just creates calculations.
Yep.
It's probably just like AI calculation builder, which could be really useful. I don't know.
Yeah.
AI is really good at building SQL. Maybe they trained one to build, whatever language the semantic layer in Tableau uses.
Yeah. Michael Dunphy says DBT semantic layer is getting there as an open source option.
Yeah.
That's a great point. I will admit, like when it comes to DBT's semantic layer, I don't understand its open source capabilities versus its commercial capabilities. I do know just from kind of a total outsider, right? I don't know anybody at DBT well enough to have any inside information on their strategy or anything, but just looking at it, it seems like the semantic layer is kind of DBT's attempt to create an additional monetizable asset in addition to DBT Cloud. I think that they're having a hard time. Oh, I know they've been having a hard time monetizing DBT Cloud. A lot of people just use DBT Core and they don't want to use Cloud. And Cloud is the only way that DBT has to make money. And I think the semantic layer is kind of how can we,
how can we do it? Makes me think that like, since this is their pivot to try to make more money, that like there'll be less in the open source offering than there will be in the paid offering comparatively. Yeah, it sounds like DBT is like the open source offering, like does what everyone wants. So why don't we use the cloud? They're probably going to lock more of the useful features behind the cloud version. Would be my guess.
Which they should. They got to make money. They have a big valuation to justify.
Yeah, that's true. Big valuation for a company that gives away their product.
That's really like the challenge, and I will give our CEO Roman Stanek credit. There was big pressure at Good Data for a lot of years to try to go this like open source route, open source our analytics engine, and then monetize on top of it. And he always said no. And I think that in the long run, that's smarter. If you go open source, you can build a huge community, and that's really impressive. And I think it makes it easy to raise money when you say, oh, I've got like 1 million users. We've got 80,000 people in our Slack. Yeah. But turning that into cash flow,
it doesn't build
hard.
It doesn't build a community of dollar bills.
Right. And that's ultimately what we're here for, right? We're building a community of dollar bills, not practitioners.
That's what everyone's here. That's what everyone's doing any of this stuff, to build your own personal community of dollar bills.
That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. See. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Visualization layer looks like they're changing up the visualization. I have no doubt that this will be good.
Yeah. It sounds like it looks prettier.
Looks prettier and already looked pretty.
It's got rounded corners. So wait, hold on. Are we back in the rounded corners?
It says right here, modernized with faster, featuring rounded corners.
So now we're in rounded corners. Because I remember when we were in pointy corners, then we went into rounded corners, and then we went back into pointy corners. So now we're back in rounded corners.
I guess so.
All right. Good to know.
We just need to go back to the Windows XP aesthetic. Yeah. That's where, or like the early 2000s, like bubbly, like colorful aesthetic or whatever.
Michael says yes. Rounded corners are now in Tableau. All right.
Okay. All right. All right. I know.
I'm glad I know that. I was, there's certain things you have to accept when you hit your 40s. Like my haircut, which still seems pretty cool to me, is not really cool anymore. No. But if I can stay on top of whether the corners are rounded or pointy, I think I'll be okay.
You'll be all right. Yeah. All right. Action layer. First, integrate Salesforce flow automation. Okay, this is just some Salesforce trigger thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know.
This action layer works with both Slack and Teams, allowing users to initiate business process directly from their data insights. So, like, what I'm imagining, there's something I'm imagining. I would like to see a demo of it.
It's at this YouTube link right here, I'm sure. Main keynote, which we're not going to watch.
Okay.
if we were real full-time streamers, we'd have a 5-hour stream and we would watch the keynote
and then just comment on it.
And then we'd have our editor clip our main things we say and then post that on YouTube. That's what we'd be doing. But
hey, listen, folks. If you're watching this, okay, all you need to do is completely replace my income and Eric's income.
Yeah. And then we'll start doing
memberships. That. I don't know. And then we'll start doing that for you.
We'll start doing that for you. Well, until that happens, you get 1 hour every week.
Okay. So, look, in all seriousness, the ability to trigger actions from BI is something that people have always wanted. And I think that it has there have been attempts to do this, and let's be real, they always suck. The way we do this in Good Data is actually we just let you trigger through the analytics as code features. We let you trigger anything in any other system, but you have to build the code integration yourself. Right. And what that means is that it's way more powerful.
Yeah.
But also, like, have to know how to do it. So we're not going to have this. We don't have this out of the box, like, oh, you can make something happen in Salesforce, like I'm sure Tableau does. Yeah. But what we have instead is like any system that has an API, you can trigger based on, you can trigger those API functions based on conditions detected in the data by good data is how we approach it. And then the reason I think that's the best approach to this is like BI tools just can't, you're never going to be able to build the integrations and workflows that you need in a BI tool, right? And so instead, you should let the engineers at your customers build those integrations and workflows and then hook them into the BI tool as needed. I'll get off my soapbox.
There. Well, it was a good soapbox speech.
Yeah. Thomas has a comment here. DBT guy here, valid points on DBT. Semantic layer adoption is growing. Power BI integration is needed. Yeah, I mean, I think from a strategy perspective, DBT. Here's what I heard an interesting thing once, and where did I hear it? I don't remember, but it was that every software vendor thinks that they look at the stuff that happens downstream from them in the stack. So if you're a database company, you look at BI. If you're BI, you look at spreadsheets. If you're ETL, you look at databases. If you look at the thing that happens above you and you say to yourself, oh, I can do that. And then you build those features and they almost always fail. And so I would say, I don't know if that's true or not. It feels true-ish. But that's really what DBT is doing here at the metrics layer. Like DBT is kind of looking at what happens above them or downstream from them and saying, oh, we can do that too.
We can do that, yeah.
And so time will tell. Will they succeed or not?
I hope they succeed, because if there's like an open source or even like not open source, but not
isn't that what Malloy, I don't know how to pronounce it. Isn't that what they do?
Maybe.
Google it. I think it's what they do. But it's like one guy, I think, building that. So anyway, then we got Andy Nelson. Welcome to the show, Andy. Congratulations on season 3. Missed the streams. Yeah. We're happy to be back doing it. Welcome back.
Yeah, let's ask. There we go. There we go. I asked Perplexity.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay.
It's really zoomed in here, so it's kind of hard to. Okay. So yeah, that's the action layer. So.
Yep. And then, of course, the agents are
AI
analytics companions.
Yeah, the new analytics companion vision includes specialized AI agents designed to augment human capabilities. Data, so it looks like they got different data pro, intelligent preparation, smart suggestions, automatically handles complex transformations, significantly reducing. So this is just reading their ad text, basically.
Well, delivers immediate, reliable answers to data questions in natural language. Inspector monitors the agent, continuously tracks. So I would say this is a good, again, do these work? I have no idea. This is a smart approach, I think, to have like these kind of layers of capabilities and bundle them together and call them agents. Mm-hmm. But things like when I looked at AI, when I think about AI and what it can do for BI, the most obvious thing is it can lower the barrier of entry to get data out of BI systems through natural language.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that. And literally every BI vendor is building that. And some will have better features than others. But everybody's building that. But the next layer, I think, the more important layer, has to do with actually making the BI and data teams more effective. And things like, okay, is there an AI monitoring what's happening? Like, here's what I really want. I want an AI that can tell me what questions people are asking as a data team. I want to know, what are the ad hoc questions? What domains are they in? What measures do they use? How are they phrased? Who asks them?
How are they pulling this data?
Yes, that's what I want, right? And I think AI will help us with that immensely. because getting that data today is just man, you would need a whole team.
Well, that's the thing. AI is good at summarizing stuff.
Right.
Like this. They just summarized what they talked about in the 3-day conference. I think it's
Right.
still going on today.
So like any AI that can tell me what people, and the BI tools should all build it, but an AI that looks at who's asking what questions specifically. And now that people are using the natural language interface, we will have literally and directly the language they used to ask the question. And then what can we learn from that? I actually think that is incredibly valuable data that nobody has had access to, that we will have access to now. And I think it's going to really change the way we operate as data teams.
Yeah.
Now, that's not really what they're saying here.
No, you're kind of inserting your own wishful desires for what this could be.
No,
I like, maybe this is kind of like that, but maybe it's not.
That's not what they're talking about here.
No.
But I guess the neuron pathway in my brain that connected those things was like, okay, I want an agent that does that for my BI tool. Like, an agent that like helps with data prep. That's awesome.
Yeah.
An agent that answers customer queries. That's great. But can I get an agent that like does that helps me as a team become more efficient by helping me understand my users? We talk a lot about data product thinking on this show, and man, like what an incredible source of information to up your data product thinking game that would be if we had it.
Gotcha. Yeah, look, Ryan, I just went to the reference article from Tableau. It's like, look at those rounded.
So bubbly.
Ooh, it's rounded now. Ooh.
I mean, it's easy to make fun of.
Ooh.
But
but like the reason Tableau got big is because they were good at that. Now they're owned by Salesforce. Maybe they lost the plot, but
a little bit. That's what I'm hearing from people like Tableau people is a level of dissatisfaction that is frankly expected. It's no different than what happened after IBM acquired Cognos.
Yeah. All right, then it looks like
data prep enhancement. Then we're getting into like features.
The devs on stage. So this is like for like real.
These are the real features.
These are the real. So this was all like the ad stuff for people like us who don't use Tableau but talk about industry stuff.
Yep.
Right. But then here we go is like view parameters for enhanced geospace. Like, ooh, we don't need to cover. Yeah. So they're adding more stuff as well for devs.
Scroll down. This is a true innovation. Stop. Where is it? Oh, scroll again. Oh, where'd it go?
What do you seek?
Oh, there we go. Stop. No, go back.
Down one?
Down one.
Okay.
Look at that last bullet point. That is true BI innovation.
A recycle bin for Tableau allowing restoration of deleted content for up to 30 days.
Incredible.
Incredible. They didn't have any versioning.
You guys know, those of you who do BI, how few BI tools have a fucking recycle bin.
Or like undo. They don't.
No.
Like even like the BI tool we're always glazing Cognos.
Yeah.
But built in it doesn't. But like there are third-party tools that do, like Modio, which we just switched to, by the way, which is really good. But like there are third-party tools because back in the day that's what you did. Like there were third-party tools for everything.
Yeah.
But
just the ability to be like, oh, I didn't mean to delete that,
without having to be like, well, we need to restore the entire system backup or database backup.
Exactly. Send an email out, ask everybody to stop developing.
We're going to restore. We need to loop in create a major incident. We need to loop in the database team. They need to restore from a backup. Oh, that backup didn't work. Is there a backup on tape that has it?
Yeah. That's
stuff happens.
That's incredible. So we got some comments here. Michael Dunphy says Tableau is just becoming an extension of Salesforce. That's where all the attention in AI is going. 100%.
Yeah.
It's just what's going to happen. It's just what's going to happen. This is what's creating the market opening for tools like Sigma and Omni and Zenlytic and Good Data to come in. And I will tell you, when I talk to people who come to Good Data who are looking to transition BI tools, I would say 70% of the time, the tool they're looking to transition away from right now is Tableau.
Yep.
And it's not because the tool has gotten bad. It's everything around the tool.
Everything around it.
The customer relationship, the roadmap is geared towards what Salesforce needs.
They got rid of a ton of the customer relation. Some of like someone we know, Ryan. Like they were involved in like like working with departments for like satisfaction, and they're gone. Their entire team's gone.
Yeah, the entire like customer success team that was
Yeah.
focused on Tableau has
So,
been
and I'm like
jettisoned.
working with a team, working with like a company, and being like, oh, what do you need? What do you need? Like they're gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
You know, now it's just like the sales rep
Yep.
contact.
A friend of the show, Mike Norris, points out Modio does Click and Power BI as well.
Okay, all right.
This is Tom Wilczek. He says this literally came up yesterday here. So yeah. And then Mike, yeah, so many tools missing version control and recycle bin. It's wild
Yeah.
how many tools don't have this.
Yeah.
In the BI space. It's crazy.
It's like what like Linus Torvalds or whatever, like invented, like released Git in like the early 2000s, right? It's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, we know how to version stuff, just like do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I would say. Like my answer to this is your tool should integrate with Git, and you should be doing DevOps/data ops with your BI. But let's be real. A lot of BI teams don't have those skills, tools don't have those capabilities.
Yeah, don't know about Git at all. And like Git is, when you first started using it, is kind of confusing.
It's confusing, yeah.
And you can get in weird between states and stuff. It's like, oh, well, this is actually pulled, but they did a push, and now it's in its zombie state. Now how do I now need to pull from origin? Blah blah blah. It gets confusing.
It gets real confusing. The dog is suddenly active, so I'm just making sure he hasn't left me a present sitting around here. Yeah, but that's so. But I mean, look, credit where credit's due. Thank you, Tableau, on behalf of your hundreds of thousands of users who are probably celebrating the fact that there's a recycle bin.
Yeah, yeah. It's like finally, it's one of those things. It's like I can't believe this isn't here yet.
I know. I know.
Cognos is finally adding dynamic. They finally added like dynamic default prompt selections after people have been asking for it for 20 years.
That's crazy.
Like, it's like it's finally there, and I've actually tested it, so I actually don't know if the implementation is that good.
Well, you'll find out.
I'll find out as soon as we
sure.
upgrade to the next version in a couple months.
We could have Rachel back on the show to talk about it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that would maybe that would be good to have Rachel on just to give us an update on what's happening there.
Yeah.
All right, folks, listen, we have got about 7 minutes left of the show.
Yeah, I think we've read enough of this. Now it's just like conference stuff. All right.
I do want to know though, like,
yeah,
is this interesting? Is this interesting to watch us do this? And the reason I want to know is this is actually a really popular. Those of you who watch streams know that there are people who are millionaires who what they do is they pop open news articles. Say they're a political streamer. They queue up 9 news articles and they just read the news articles and give their opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody does this in data, and it may be because it's not interesting.
It's like there's like, I'm going to be honest, like, especially when we were doing this, another reason we went to this season lineup is when we were doing it like every day for like the show every day for like a year and a half. Sometimes it's like there's nothing new to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's no big conferences going on this week, and if there are, they're just saying the same stuff they said last month. Right. Like, so it's like sometimes it's like, you know, there's not enough stuff. So maybe that's why there's no like data person doing this, or maybe there is. It's like a niche enough subject that like no one's bothered.
Yeah.
Well, data with a BI focus.
Look, let us know. It would be good to know. Like, Michael says, I appreciate hearing your takes given your experience in the industry. Thank you, Michael. Yeah. If this is interesting, like we can do more of this. We really want to do whatever's most interesting to you. Having guests on is obviously great, you know, but if this type of thing is helpful to you in your career or interesting, worth watching, then we can do more of it. Yeah. It's just kind of, we don't know. I mean, maybe we should just try it for a while and see how it goes.
Or like I was thinking we could maybe like integrate, like have like even when we have a guest, have the first section be like some news that's related to the guest's expertise, and then we talk about the news with the guest. That would be good. And then after that half hour, maybe we can talk about like the normal like interview type stuff that we do. Michael says IBM Think is in early May, followed by Click Connect the week after. Well, let us know how those go. I mean, we'll get the news from it if there's announcements. I imagine there'll be something at Click Connect. Yeah. You know what? Think
Is there going to be an announcement that's interesting to our audience? It's like the word Cognos is like forbidden at IBM. It feels like
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like one of their great tools that has just like they. You remember the year we went when they were like 2017? We went to think when me and you were at PM Square.
Yeah.
Or 2018. It's like no one said Cognos at all. Like, all they said was Bitcoin. All they said was blockchain.
Yeah, blockchain, blockchain, blockchain.
Yeah.
Elon Musk says, "Hell yeah." And then we've got Mike Norris. Think not.
Think not. Think.
Waka
think
waka.
Not. Think not.
Oh man, I haven't been to a think in a long time. It would be interesting to go. Of course, I'm sure our friends at PM Square will be there. Maybe we can have Chris on the show to talk about it.
That'd be cool.
I had to ask him about coming on the show. I think if we did have Chris on the show, for those of you who followed us for a while, Eric and I both used to work at an IBM consulting partner called PM Square, and Chris is kind of their head of sales.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about I've asked him if he would be interested to come on the show to like in like a tell all, like the tricks of analytics sales, right? Like what are the things that your BI vendor is telling you to try to get you to sign on the dotted line, type of deal. And I think he expressed some interest in it, but I also think he doesn't want to give away his secret sauce.
Yeah, why give away?
We'll see.
once he gets a new job at the local community, working at the local community garden instead.
Yeah, then he'll
of being a BI salesman, then maybe he'll do the tell all
exactly
episode.
All right, listen, folks, you've been a great audience. Thank you. It was really encouraging to see how many people. We've been away for 4+ months. It was really encouraging to see how many people showed up and how active you all were. So thank you for your participation. As always, we're here. We'll be here next Thursday with Eva Maya. She's phenomenal. You're not going to want to miss it. And then the rest of the season as well. I'm really excited about the lineup of guests we have for you. I think a lot of really fresh takes on what's going on in the data world, and a lot of great advice to help you advance your data career, learn a little bit, laugh a little bit, and have a good time.
Love a little bit
here.
Maybe dance like no one's watching.
All that
Sing
stuff.
like no one's listening.
We'll do all of that here every Thursday.
It's wine o'clock.
All right.
So I'm just going through things that might be on your stepmom's wall when you go visit.
We'll be here every Thursday for the next 8 weeks, folks, for season 3 of the Super Data Brothers show. You've been a great audience today, active audience across both LinkedIn and YouTube, which is really fun.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, our entire show archive is available on YouTube on demand. So go back anytime to watch it. I will be, let's see what else. I will be at Data Council next week in Oakland, California. Do swing by if you see me, say hello. I love meeting our fans out in public. I tend to meet at least a few every conference I go to. I meet someone new who says, "Oh yeah, I saw you on YouTube."
That's always it's always so cool, but it's also kind of like, oh yeah. At least when it happens to me, it's like, oh, I recognize you from your video. I'm like, whoa, this is new.
Yeah, exactly. Like, really? Somebody watched that?
You're one of the 700 people who had watched the Superset review at that point. Sweet.
Yeah, it's up. It's over 10,000 now, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I know. So what are we talking about? Oh yeah, say hi at Data Council if you're going to be there next week, and tune in on Thursday. I will actually be in California, so I won't be here in the studio. I will be in California, doing the interview with Eva Maya from my hotel room, probably.
Yeah.
So catch us live on Thursday at 12 p.m. Say hello if you see me at Data Council. And then, it was great to have you. You're a great audience. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Until next week, I am Ryan.
I am Eric.
And we are the Super Data Brothers. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.